We bought a rig just last week down in Tulsa, the leather seats, but we forgot the map was old. And now we're lost, ain't that so bold? The toilet's blocked, don't you frown, spilling waste all over town. The engine sputters, ain't she sweet? This RV life's one big treat. Say hello to hidden trees, say goodbye to towing fees, knocking pipes, leaky roof, under stars, we're waterproof.
All right, welcome back everyone for another deep dive.
Yes, welcome back.
Today, we're kind of hitting the open road, at least in spirit.
Yeah.
We're diving into the world of hybrid RVs.
Absolutely.
You're a new owner, so congrats on that new rig.
Yes, big congratulations.
We're going to break down a guide today called Unlock Your Adventure, 7 Essential Tips for New Hybrid RV Owners.
Ooh, I like that title.
Yeah, it's a good one, very catchy.
It is.
And even though it says for new owners,
Yeah.
I think we're going to uncover some stuff that maybe even a seasoned RV might not know.
I think so too. There's some gems in here.
Okay, so first tip, kind of a classic. Read the owner's manual.
Of course, you got to read the manual.
I know. Not the most exciting thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a page turner,
Right.
but I will say, especially with hybrid RVs, it's really important.
Okay, so what makes it so important for a hybrid?
Well, those pop-out sections,
Yeah.
they have systems that are kind of unique. And honestly, the manual is really your best friend to avoid, some expensive mistakes.
Yeah, I guess it's better to know how it all works before you're 1,000 miles from civilization and something breaks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Think about showing up at a campsite, ready for the weekend, and then realizing you don't even know how to hook up the electricity.
Oh, that's a good point.
Or even worse, not realizing that your water tank's too full for safe travel.
Oh, yeah.
The manual can save you so many headaches.
I'm sold. The manual's coming on every trip now.
Good, good.
All right, tip number 2 is about storage.
Storage, yes.
But I think it's a little deeper than just saying, store it properly.
Yeah, it's kind of about more than just keeping things neat and tidy.
Wait.
It can actually save you money in the long run.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
So how does bad storage, end up costing you?
Well, think about, the sun. You know how it fades the paint on your car?
Yeah.
Well, it's even worse for RVs. Prolonged sun exposure, that UV, it can actually degrade the fiberglass, especially on those pop-out sections.
Oh, okay.
And that can lead to, cracks and leaks and stuff.
So it's a good cover is essential.
A good cover, absolutely essential.
Yeah.
And then there's also pests.
Yeah.
You leave, food crumbs or traces of spills. It can attract all sorts of critters.
Oh, my gosh.
They would love to make your RV their new home.
I can imagine, yeah.
So proper cleaning, and sealing up everything is key.
Okay, so, I've heard those horror stories of people finding, a family of raccoons living in their camper.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What about tires? Is there anything special about storing those?
Tires, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You might not think about it, but they can actually develop flat spots.
Oh, great.
Or even warp if they just sit in the same position for too long, especially when it's under heavy load.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is it rotating them, or I've heard of those tire cradles?
Yeah, tire cradles, rotating them, all of that can really help.
Gotcha.
All these things might seem small, but they add up to big repairs down the line.
Yeah, that's true.
It's an investment in your RV's lifespan, basically.
So we got the manual, we got storage.
Yep.
What's next?
Okay, well, this one kind of combines a couple points from the guide.
Okay.
It's checking your tires and brakes before every trip,
Mm-hmm.
and then also making sure those safety alarms are working.
Okay, so a pre-flight checklist for your RV?
Exactly, yeah. It's about being proactive
Right.
and preventing those, potential disasters on the road.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the trip and forget about the basics. So give me worst case scenario, you skip these checks, what could happen?
Well, we could be talking blowouts, brake failures, even, carbon monoxide poisoning if that alarm's not working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well now I'm going to be very diligent about my pre-trip inspections.
Good. Good.
Knowledge is power, they say.
It really is, especially when it comes to RV safety.
So, speaking of being prepared, what's next on our list here?
All right, tip number 4 is all about maintenance. Scheduling regular inspections, staying on top of those service appointments.
Mm-hmm.
I know it doesn't sound super exciting,
Not the most thrilling thing, no.
but there's a lot more to it when you kind of take a deep dive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the deep dive perspective on RV maintenance?
Well, you got to think about it. Hybrids, they have unique needs, beyond just your typical car tune-up.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So like, for example, those seals on your pop-out sections, they need regular cleaning and lubrication to prevent cracking and leaks.
Okay.
The canvas on those pop-outs, too, that needs to be treated and waterproofed.
Good.
And then there are all those specialized systems, like the water pump, the propane system, electrical.
So it's not just like an oil change and tire rotation.
Exactly. It's about understanding the specific needs of your hybrid
Right.
and being proactive about addressing them. Think of it this way. Every inspection, it's like an investment
Yeah.
that can prevent those bigger, more expensive repairs down the road.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
So got to stay on top of it.
you got it.
All right, safety tips. That's always a big one for RVers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Tip number 5, hits on safety.
Okay.
I think we can assume you already know the basics, seat belts, fire extinguisher, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't realize, RV accidents, they're actually more common than you think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah.
So what can we do to stay safe out there? Like, what kind of proactive steps can we take?
Well, beyond the obvious, using those trip planning apps, the ones that give you real-time weather updates,
Okay, yeah.
those can be a lifesaver because knowing what kind of road conditions you're heading into,
Yeah.
that can make all the difference.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I've also heard about, like, defensive driving courses, specifically for RVs.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Have you ever taken one of those?
I haven't personally, but I've heard great things about them.
Okay.
They teach you how to handle your RV in different situations,
Yeah.
like how to maneuver in tight spaces, how to react safely in emergencies.
Right.
It's definitely something I'd recommend,
Yeah.
especially for, folks who are new to driving larger vehicles.
I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed with all of this information, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's good to be prepared,
Right.
but it's also like, how do we keep it all straight?
I know what you mean. It's a lot to take in.
Any advice?
Well, that's where tip number 6 comes in. Connect with the RV community.
Yeah, I love this one. Like joining a local RV group or maybe even an online forum.
Absolutely.
That can be such a game changer.
Oh, yeah, it really can be.
It's not just about getting like the technical advice or like troubleshooting tips.
Right.
It's about like finding your tribe, connecting with people who get it, who understand the RV lifestyle.
It's a whole community.
Yes, it's amazing.
Plus, who doesn't love swapping stories around a campfire,
Exactly.
It's part of the fun.
Okay, so story time. Have you ever experienced that, like, veteran RVer helping out a newbie?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have a funny story about that.
Okay, let's hear it.
So one time I had this, tricky repair on my slide-out mechanism.
Yeah.
I was about to call a mobile mechanic, which would have been expensive,
Oh, yeah.
But then I remembered this online forum I had joined.
No way did the forum save the day.
It totally did. Not only did I find, a step-by-step solution
Wow,
posted by another owner who had the exact same problem,
that's awesome.
but I ended up connecting with some really great people in the process.
Nice.
It turned out, a few of them lived in my area. We've become good friends.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a whole support system on wheels.
Exactly.
And there's so many different kinds of RV communities out there. Yeah.
There really are.
You can find ones based on your specific RV model, your travel style, or even your hobbies.
Absolutely. Whatever you're into, there's a community for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting help with repairs. It's about, finding your people,
Yeah. Finding your tribe.
All right, so we got local groups, we got online forums, we got rallies and events. What if you're brand new, totally new to the whole RV world,
Yeah.
feeling a little overwhelmed?
Sure.
What's your advice for them?
Honestly, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The RV community, they're super welcoming, very supportive.
They're very friendly.
Yeah, and most experienced RVers, they're happy to share their knowledge,
Yeah.
Help newcomers navigate all the ins and outs of this lifestyle.
It's all about paying it forward.
Exactly, paying it forward. Plus, everyone was a beginner once,
So true.
We all had to start somewhere.
All right, before we move on, I want to do a quick recap of what we talked about in this first part.
Okay.
So we started with some essential tips for new hybrid RV owners, from reading the manual to storing your RV properly.
Yeah.
We then dove into the importance of those pre-trip rituals, like safety checks, testing your appliances, packing for different environments. And we wrapped up with talking about the value of finding your RV community
Absolutely.
and embracing those shared experiences.
Yes, that's so important.
It's a lot to take in, but I'm feeling much more prepared for my first RV adventure now.
I'm glad to hear that.
How about you?
Me too. I'm
Yeah.
feeling ready to hit the road.
All right, so in the next part, we're going to dive into some more advanced tips and tricks.
Yeah, we're going to level up your RV experience even further.
I can't wait. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into hybrid RV essentials.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our Hybrid RV Essentials Deep Dive.
I'm ready for more. In the last part, we talked about, some of those foundational things.
Mm-hmm.
But now I want to know, what are those next level tips? What can really elevate the RV experience?
Okay, well, let's talk about weight distribution.
Okay.
It's something that a lot of new RVs, they don't really think about.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's not something I've given a ton of thought to.
Yeah.
So what could happen if you don't distribute the weight properly?
Well, picture this. You're cruising down the highway.
Oh?
And your RV starts to, sway or fishtail.
Oh, yeah.
Not only is that, unsettling,
Right.
but it can be super dangerous, especially at higher speeds.
Right.
So proper weight distribution, it really helps to stabilize the RV,
Okay.
makes it less prone to sway, improves that overall handling.
So how do you actually do it? Is it just packing things evenly?
Well, it's a little more nuanced than that.
Okay.
You got to consider the weight of the RV itself,
Mm-hmm.
the weight of all your stuff, and where everything's placed inside.
Okay.
There's this concept called tongue weight.
Tongue weight.
Yeah, it's the amount of weight that's pushing down on that hitch ball.
Yeah.
Too little tongue weight, and the trailer can sway
Mm-hmm.
too much, and it puts a strain on the tow vehicle.
So how do you find, that sweet spot?
There are special scales you can get,
Okay.
specifically for measuring tongue weight.
All right.
You can also use a bathroom scale and a bit of math to get a rough estimate.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But generally, you're aiming for around 10 to 15% of the total trailer weight.
10 to 15%. Okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
What about the weight inside the RV? Any tips for distributing that effectively?
Definitely think about balancing those heavier items over the axles.
Okay.
Try to distribute weight evenly on both sides of the RV.
Okay.
And avoid overloading any one area, especially the rear,
Gotcha.
because that can really contribute to sway.
Balance is key, it sounds like.
Balance is key.
This is great info. I feel so much more confident about hitting the road already.
Good, I'm glad.
What other, pro-level tips do you have?
Okay, let's talk about those pop-out sections.
Right.
Great feature of hybrids, right?
Yeah, love them.
But they also need a little extra TLC.
Okay, what kind of things should we be watching out for?
Well, first and foremost, make sure those seals are in good condition.
Just seals, okay.
Inspect them regularly, look for cracks, tears, any kind of damage.
Yeah,
Those seals are crucial for keeping the elements out,
right.
preventing leaks.
So if you do see a damaged seal, what's the best course of action?
There are seal conditioners and lubricants you can use
Okay.
to kind of extend their life.
Hmm.
But if you notice any significant damage, it's best to just replace them.
Replace them. Okay.
Yeah, it's a relatively inexpensive repair,
Okay.
and it can prevent some major headaches down the road.
Makes sense. What about the canvas on those pop-outs? Any special care tips for that?
Definitely. The canvas, it needs to be treated with a waterproofing spray every so often
Okay.
to keep it from getting moldy or mildewy.
Right.
And you can also use a UV protectant spray
Oh.
to help prevent fading and damage from the sun.
Gotcha. So seal maintenance, canvas care.
Yeah.
Essential for those pop-out sections.
Absolutely.
All right. What other tips do you have for, the hybrid RV newbie?
Okay, let's talk about water conservation.
Water conservation, all right.
Especially important in hybrids
Okay.
because you have that limited tank capacity.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really thought about how quickly you go through water.
Yeah, it can go fast.
So
Yeah.
what are some strategies for making that water last?
There are a lot of simple things you can do.
Okay.
Shorter showers, for one.
Yeah.
Use a low-flow shower head if you
Mhm.
can turn off the water while you're brushing your teeth.
Okay.
Use a basin for washing dishes instead of letting the water run.
Yeah, those are all good tips.
Yeah.
I've also heard about using a composting toilet
Oh, yeah.
instead of the traditional one.
Definitely an option.
Is that a good idea for a hybrid?
It can be, especially if you're boondocking or camping in areas without hookups. They don't use any water,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more eco-friendly, but they do require a little more maintenance. So
Okay.
it's about weighing those pros and cons.
Right, right. Water conservation, check.
Yep.
What about electricity?
Ah, yes. Power management.
I imagine that's a whole other skill set for RV living.
It is, it is.
So hybrids, they typically have those two electrical systems, right?
That's right. You've got the 12-volt system powered by the house batteries, and then the 120-volt system that runs off shore power or a generator.
Yeah.
Knowing how to manage both of those is key.
What are some, common mistakes people make with the electrical systems?
One of the biggest ones is overloading the system.
Overloading, okay.
Yeah, you try to run too many appliances at once, you can trip breakers, even damage components.
So no running the AC, the microwave, and the hairdryer all at the same time.
Probably not the best idea.
Gotcha.
Another common mistake, forgetting to monitor those battery levels.
Oh.
Those house batteries, they power everything.
Yeah.
Lights, water pump, you name it.
Right.
So keeping them charged is essential.
So best ways to keep those batteries topped up.
Driving the RV will actually charge them.
Oh, okay.
Plugging into shore power will too.
Hmm.
And you can use a generator or solar panels to top them off if needed.
Okay, so be aware of your usage. Have a plan to keep those batteries charged.
Exactly.
I'm starting to feel like a real RV pro over here.
You're getting there.
What else do I need to know to master this hybrid RV life?
Okay, let's talk about leveling.
Leveling, okay.
It's an essential skill for any RV,
Well,
but especially important for hybrids.
Okay, why is that?
Those pop-out sections, they need to be on a level surface to function properly.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've seen those leveling blocks at, camping stores.
Mhm.
I never really understood how to use them.
Okay, well, first you need to assess the campsite.
Okay.
Figure out which direction the RV needs to be leveled. You'll place those blocks under the tires on the low side,
Okay.
and you can use a level to check your progress as you go.
So it's, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's not too complicated.
Are there different kinds of leveling blocks?
There are. You can get basic plastic blocks,
Okay.
interlocking blocks, even adjustable leveling systems.
Fancy.
Yeah, it really just depends on what you prefer and your budget.
All right, leveling. Another skill added to my repertoire.
Good, good.
I'm noticing a theme here.
What's that?
There's a lot more to RVing than I initially realized,
There is.
but it's all manageable with the right knowledge
That's true.
and a little bit of preparation.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
The more you learn, the more confident and comfortable you become, and the more you can relax and just enjoy the journey.
Speaking of enjoying the journey, any tips for making the most of the RV experience?
Well, one of the best things about RVing is that freedom
Yeah, the free.
to go wherever, whenever. But with that freedom comes responsibility
Okay.
to plan your trips carefully.
What kind of things should we be thinking about?
Well, first and foremost, your destination,
Okay.
the route you're going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any restrictions on RV size or weight?
Right.
Any steep grades, narrow roads that might be tough to navigate?
Yeah, I don't want to get stuck on a mountain road with a rig that's too big.
Exactly. Nobody wants that.
What other factors should we consider?
Think about the amenities you'll need.
Okay.
Make sure the campgrounds you choose have the right hookups.
Hookups, right.
Do you need full hookups, water, sewer, electricity?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you okay with partial hookups? Or even boondocking with no hookups at all?
Yeah, got to know your comfort level.
Absolutely.
What about reservations?
Reservations, yeah, those are important.
Is it always necessary to book in advance?
It depends. Depends on the time of year, the popularity of the campground.
Yeah.
During peak season, it's almost always necessary, especially if you have a specific site in mind.
Gotcha.
But if you're flexible with your dates and location, you might be able to wing it.
Okay, so plan your route, choose your campgrounds, make those reservations.
That's a good starting point.
What about packing? Any tips for packing efficiently for an RV trip?
Definitely. Space is limited.
Yeah, very true.
So you got to be strategic.
Okay.
Think about multi-purpose items, things that can serve more than one function.
Okay, like what?
A collapsible laundry basket, for example.
Okay.
You can use it for storage, and then it doubles as a hamper.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
What about clothes?
Clothes, roll them instead of folding them.
Okay.
Saves space, helps prevent wrinkles.
Good too.
And pack for the activities you'll be doing.
Right.
Hiking, you'll need boots and moisture-wicking clothes.
Mm.
Beach, swimwear, sandals. You get the idea.
Pack for the adventure you're having.
Exactly.
Okay, what about food? Packing and storing that in an RV.
Airtight containers are your best friend.
Okay.
Keep things fresh, prevent spills.
Yeah.
Organize your pantry so frequently used items are easy to grab. And consider a cooler for perishables,
Okay.
especially if you're boondocking or don't have a fridge.
So many good tips.
I'm glad they're helpful.
I feel so much more prepared for my first RV trip now.
That's great.
I'm so excited to, experience all that the RV lifestyle has to offer.
Me too. It's a great way to travel.
But before we get too carried away, let's do a quick recap of part 2.
All right.
We talked about weight distribution, caring for those pop-out sections, water conservation, power management, leveling, and planning those epic RV trips.
We covered a lot of ground.
We did. I'm feeling like a much more confident and informed RV owner now.
That's fantastic to hear.
How about you? You ready to hit the road?
Oh, absolutely. I'm feeling inspired.
All right, so in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to explore some of the, I guess, more intangible aspects of the RV lifestyle.
Ooh, yes. The stuff that goes beyond the checklists and how-tos.
I can't wait. Stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive into hybrid RV essentials.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our hybrid RV deep dive.
We're back.
We've covered so much,
have.
from like the nitty-gritty maintenance to like really smart trip planning strategies. But now I'm curious about, I guess you could say, the less tangible aspects of RV life.
Yeah, I like that.
Like the stuff that goes beyond the checklists and the how-tos.
Absolutely. That's what makes it really special,
What is that?
It's about embracing the unexpected,
Yeah.
connecting with nature in a way that you just can't from a hotel room,
Mhm.
and just creating those memories that'll last a lifetime.
I love that, for me, one of the biggest appeals of RV life is the sense of freedom.
Oh, yeah.
It's that idea that, you can go wherever you want,
Mhm.
whenever you want,
Your home is on your back.
with your home on your back. Exactly.
It's so liberating.
It is.
No fixed itinerary, no hotel reservations to worry about. You
Oh,
could
wow.
wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to chase the sunset.
Yeah.
Or linger in a town that wasn't even on your radar.
It's about saying yes to spontaneity,
Absolutely.
embracing the detours.
Totally.
Have you had any experiences on the road that really highlight this sense of freedom?
Oh, so many. But there's this one that comes to mind.
Okay, tell me.
I was driving through the mountains once,
Mm-hmm.
and I just stumbled upon this incredible hidden hot spring.
No way.
It wasn't on any map, no cell service.
Wow.
I ended up spending the whole day there.
Oh, wow.
Just soaking in the beauty, disconnecting from the world. It was bliss.
It sounds magical.
It was.
It's those unexpected discoveries that make it so special.
They really do.
It's like venturing off the beaten path and finding those hidden gems.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey itself.
Yeah.
Those scenic drives, the quirky roadside attractions,
Right.
the people you meet along the way. It's all part of the adventure.
It's about slowing down,
Mm-hmm.
savoring the moment, appreciating those simple things.
Yeah.
I imagine it's also a great way to really connect with nature.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up to a bird's song,
Mm.
brewing coffee with a mountain view,
Yeah.
spending an evening stargazing in the desert.
It's like you're truly immersed in the natural world.
You are, in a way that you just can't be in a traditional vacation.
It's like unplugging from technology, reconnecting with those rhythms of nature.
Exactly.
It sounds so peaceful and grounding.
It is. It's a great way to de-stress and recharge.
Yeah.
There's something about being in nature that calms the mind, soothes the soul.
We've talked a lot about the practical side of RVing,
Mhm.
but it's clear that there's this whole other deeper, more emotional side to it.
There is
It's about adventure, freedom, connection.
a sense of wonder.
Yes, a sense of wonder.
It's about embracing a different way of life,
Yeah.
slower, simpler, more connected to nature.
I think you just perfectly captured the essence of the RV lifestyle.
Ah, thank you.
It's not just about the vehicle. It's about those experiences, the memories, the personal growth that comes with it.
Yeah, and it's a journey that's constantly evolving.
Mm.
Every trip brings new challenges, new discoveries, new opportunities to grow.
So for our listener out there
Yeah.
who's, embarking on their own hybrid RV adventure,
Mm-hmm.
what's the one piece of advice you'd give them?
Embrace the unknown.
Ooh.
Don't be afraid to get lost, to make mistakes, to try new things.
I love that. Embrace the unknown.
Yeah,
Perfect mantra for the RV life.
it is.
And honestly, for life in general.
Absolutely.
I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about hybrid RVs.
I think so too.
From those practical tips to the philosophical stuff.
We went deep.
We did. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for this lifestyle.
Me too. It's been a pleasure diving into it with you.
Likewise, and to our listener, congrats on your new hybrid RV.
Yes,
I
congratulations.
hope you found this deep dive insightful, inspiring, maybe even a little bit life-changing.
That's the goal.
So get out there, explore those open roads,
Yeah.
embrace the unexpected, and create some unforgettable memories.
Happy travels.
And that's a wrap on our hybrid RV deep dive.
Until next time.
Until next time, keep exploring.